Okay, pro wrestling fans, it's your buddy Mike Messier. I had a subscriber requested topic. Mike the Miz Mizarian, the Miz, what do I think about him and his career? My subscriber and buddy Michael A.J. Norris wanted me to talk about the Miz. He's okay. I mean, he's not great. He's a little undersized. He's had consistent work in the WWE. There's been more talented people that have come and gone and done less with more than what he's done. I give him credit for having a hot wife. I give him credit for, staying employed. Do I particularly think he's the world's greatest heel or in the top 1,000 heels? Not really, or whatever. I mean, he's kind of a guy that has done better with what he's had than he should have. I think they kind of dropped the ball on him at that WrestleMania that he headlined with Cena and The Rock was the ref. I mean, that's going back 12 or 13 years at this point. When he had the intro, actually before the match even began, his intro video was really good about him studying wrestling and so forth. I think it's a classic case of, glass half empty, glass half full. I mean, I give the credit to Miz for having a good life and for staying employed, but I can't say that he's ever inspired me to tune into wrestling or to buy a ticket. A lot of times he's inspired me to turn off, a WWE show. Has he had some good matches? Yeah. I mean, there was a match, I think with Seth Rollins. It was that pay-per-view, I want to say Payback, maybe 2016, 2017. It was Seth and The Miz had the opening match on the pay-per-view, and the main event, I think, was Samoa Joe, Roman Reigns that time. So, there are some highlights from the Miz's career, but it's kind of like, how can we miss you if you don't go away? He's always been in the WWE system. I don't think he's ever wrestled outside of, the WWE, whether it's Tough Enough, SmackDown, or whatever the fuck. I'm uninspired by the Miz. I mean, he's slightly more palatable than a Baron Corbin or Corbin Baron, whatever the fuck. But I don't get worked up about the Miz. I mean, he's annoying if nothing else, and you can say, oh, that's great heel work. Okay. It's just, I think the Miz is kind of typical of the WWE for the last 15 or so years, just standard fare, been around forever. He's had a few inspired moments when he freaked out on that show with Bryan Danielson or Daniel Bryan. That was pretty good. When he's mocked people, like when he did the Cena, and when him and Maurice mocked Cena and Nikki Bella, that was great. His recent mockery of LA Knight was pretty good, or very good. So it's not that I totally hate everything he's done, but I don't feel threatened by him. And I think, to give him credit, once again, Cornette said something like this: when you see the Miz, you don't feel like, oh, I want to punch that guy. It's just, I want to turn the TV off. That's how I feel. I mean, I've heard from people that have met the Miz and worked with him on some of these promotions for phone stuff, that in real life, the Miz is a real nice guy, very polite, very professional. And I can see why that the WWE has kept him around. But does he provoke emotions in me? No. Does he in you? No. I mean, I think he's kind of one of these assholes that's he's a legacy act. You know what I mean? He's like been there for a long time, and they'll keep him around, and he keeps in good shape, and he keeps his nose clean, and he doesn't ruffle any feathers, and he's a good little boy who does his good little job. Now, the things that I don't like about The Miz, when his, him or his character got eaten by zombies on one of those, empty arena era matches on a premium live event, that was deplorable. And really, since that time, anything that he's done, I've had very little interest in. Because if he doesn't take himself seriously to the point where he doesn't have the balls, the testicles, to say no to having being eaten by zombies on a show, if you don't have the respect for yourself or your character or for wrestling to not get eaten by zombies, why should I have any respect for you at all as a goddamn competitor? So, if people want to know my opinions about The Miz, it's kind of mixed to negative. I do give him credit for having a hot wife and popping out a couple of kids and being on TV. I mean, but kind of like a Logan Paul. You know, if you watch Logan Paul on YouTube, I've watched a few videos. He's terribly boring. In the wrestling ring, Logan Paul is very good. I mean, he's a great wrestler. And interesting tie-in, because Miz was in his first match, that tag team match against the Mysterios, and then his first singles match. But does Logan Paul do much of a shit for me either? No. So, I mean, some of you folks out there, when you get all hot and bothered by these goddamn celebrities, ask yourself, are they truly entertaining, or are you just thinking about them or entertaining by them because they're on TV? You know, nothing builds a crowd like a crowd. If some asshole's on TV all the time and you watch them, does that make them valuable, or just that they're there and you're watching? You know what I mean? What's the inherent value beyond they're on television? And then, you know, people will try to turn that around and say, well, of course they have value because they're on television. Well, I don't know. I don't think so. I think he's just an asshole, okay? Just another person who's taking up space without really giving content or value, but just he's there, okay? So that's it. You wanted to know my fucking opinions about The Miz? I told you. He's a placebo. He's functional. He's a cog in the machine. Is he beyond anything? Is he worth caring about? Could he fucking lick the boots of Tully Blanchard in 1984 or Gino Hernandez in 1983? No. I think a lot of people just don't have, they don't know what a real heel is because they've never experienced it, or they haven't done the fucking research, like I always say. So if you're gonna, you know, give a flying cunt about Baron Corbin or The Miz or any of these placebo fuck assholes, I don't know what to tell you. They're not that good. They're just taking up your valuable space in your head and on your screens. So that's it. It's your buddy Mike Messier. You wanted my thoughts on The Miz. I told you. He is what he is. He's there. If you want to know why, the ratings, you know, John Cena is not the world's greatest wrestler. Raw has stunk for 20 years, and that's just the way it is. Some things will never change. Bruce Hornsby in the range. Mike Messier.